As I'm so new to Cedar Lane, you may wonder why I'm speaking about generosity campaign and stewardship. Initially, I wondered as well, but as I thought about it, it began to make more sense to me. You see, I suspect that Sharmi and I have known about and known Reverend Abhi longer than many Cedar Laners. Let me explain. I was born in a Jain family in India, and Sharmi in a Vaishnav Hindu family. We first attended a UU fellowship in Northeast Tennessee in 1971. We became members of the Holston Valley Unitarian Universalist Church in Tennessee in '76. That church nurtured us, helped us establish our roots in America. It was an oasis of progressive thought in a deep red part of the country, Northeast Tennessee. For 41 years, we were members until we moved to Northern Virginia in 2017. And we nurtured the roots of our church in Tennessee. I served as a board president and also board member for 8 years, including treasurer, president, and membership trustee. Sharmi was actually a chair of the Ministerial Search Committee and is a founding member of a Buddhist Sangha group that started in the UU Church. She refers to herself as a Buddhist UU, and I refer to myself as a Jain UU. I didn't know a lot about Jainism. I learned more about it because UUs kept asking me about Jainism. So when I went back to India, I started studying more about Jainism. I didn't grow up studying about it, but I thank UUs for me to learn more about my religion. How did we first learn about Reverend Abhi? First time was in 2011. Sharmi and I attended a UU General Assembly in Charlotte. We met Reverend Abhi in Charlotte. This is before Abhiji was called as a senior minister here. So we can claim to have met Reverend Abhi before most of the Cedar Laners, with the possible exception of a few congregants who I will affectionately refer to as UU General Assembly junkies. Next, I got in touch with Reverend Abhi in 2016 when we were contemplating move to this area, and I asked him, could he tell us about independent full-service living facilities in the area. I also mentioned to him that we were looking in Virginia. 3 weeks, we didn't hear back, so I thought, well, he's pretty busy. And then we got a nice long list of options to consider in Maryland with a statement that selfishly he would be happy if we chose Maryland, but we did not at the time. But I think to some extent, I have to thank the pandemic with all its negatives for us to be here today. During the pandemic, we started watching sermons at Cedar Lane and at River Road. We were so moved by the passionate January 10th sermon titled Democracy or Insurrection after the January 6th attack. I learned so many things about the Capitol and the history and what was going on there. In early August last year, I wrote to Reverend Abhi while he was on vacation in India, saying August 10th was our 50th wedding anniversary. And I just asked him for his blessings. But he replied back immediately saying, would we let him do a rededication ceremony on Zoom while he was in India? Remember, we were not members of this congregation at that time. We had a lovely 45-minute Zoom rededication ceremony attended by 10 closest family members and friends. We love the sermons here that have the global touch and that focus on the spirit and the variety of the sermons that celebrate Unitarian Universalism as well as other religions. As you know, today's service is about Holi, and I have very fond memories of playing Holi with watercolors, and then at the end of it, we had a swimming pool, and we would all take a dunk in the swimming pool in order to wash the colors off. In Jain religion, technically, Holi has no religious significance. However, I think Jains don't have enough fun, so we join in Holi for fun. We've now started watching Cedar Lane sermon going back several years. We've listened to sermons on Gandhi, the climate justice, and recently the sermon on We Don't Talk About Bruno, and that was wonderful. And a lot of people binge watch various TV serials. We are crazy. We binge watch sermons that we've not seen before. So Sharmi will often say it after 6:30 news at 7 o'clock, well, let's see what sermon we can watch today. So we at least watch a couple of sermons like that in the evening a week. We do not know many Cedar Laners yet. I've gotten to know pastoral visitor team members. I really appreciate the help they've given me. I hope to get to know more congregants. However, as in-person activities restart, distance becomes a barrier from Leesburg. So with the help of Marilyn Emery, our member and realtor, we're looking for a pied-à-terre, a tiny apartment in this area so we could attend evening events and maybe spend the night there and not have to go all the way back through the traffic. So for Sharmi and me, nurturing Cedar Lane is important. We pledge and nourish Cedar Lane and its roots. We appreciate the collaboration that exists between Cedar Lane and River Road. We love Reverend Nancy as well. Thank you for the opportunity for me to speak.